What is an ad hominem fallacy, or sometimes referred to an ad hominem attack? That's what I want to talk about in this video with an easy explanation. And I'm doing this video in the spirit of having productive conversations, productive debates. If we're ever going to find middle grounds with people that maybe disagree with us, well, that all starts with being productive within our conversation. And this video is all being spurred from a recent social media post that I did. And this was happening all over the place. And I thought, you know what? I might as well just do it because it happens a lot. And I don't say any of this from a judgmental standpoint because I struggle with it and I'm always having to remind myself, okay, Clay, you're doing an ad hominem attack here, that this is not actually relevant. So what is this all about? And what it's all about comes from the Latin word, which means literally to the person. So in other words, we are focused on a person, which is the problem, because unless the person is actually the point of the conversation, then there are some flaws there. And the flaw has to do with the fact that, well, instead of addressing somebody's argument or position, you irrelevantly attack the person or some aspect of the person who is making the argument. And that is a problem because, well, nothing's actually being accomplished. There is no productivity if instead of focusing on somebody's claim, somebody's argument, you're focused on the person itself. So what do I mean by this? Well, like I said earlier in the video, recently did a social media post and I just threw this headline out there, which was from CNBC. Bill Gates says crypto and NFTs are 100% based on greater fool theory. Now, when you see that, what do you think? And again, just be honest. What are you thinking? What is your rebuttal to that? Because a claim has been made. So what is your rebuttal? And well, let's look at some of these rebuttals that were made. So Rich says, this is also the same guy that hung out with Epstein and has nearly $2 billion of his own money in COVID vaccines. I don't think his opinions really matter to anyone. So let's go through a little quiz here. Do you understand what an ad hominem attack is? Do you see the ad hominem here? Well, right here. Hung out with Epstein. Has nearly $2 billion of his own money in COVID vaccines. And again, we'll assume that all this stuff is true. I'm not saying it is because I'm not trying to start some sort of rabbit hole discussion, but let's just assume those things are true. Okay, what does that have to do with the claim that was being made? What does that have to do with the fact that Bill Gates has made a claim about NFTs and crypto being based on a greater fool theory? It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with Bill Gates, but not the claim that was being made. So here's another one. Old man doesn't understand new technology. So what's the ad hominem attack here? Well, the fact that he's old. Again, what does the fact that him being old have to do with the actual claim that's being made? It's an attack on Bill Gates for being old, but that doesn't actually prove anything. That doesn't actually address the key issue. Here's another one. Bill Gates is also a liberal puppet, so no one cares what he says. Okay, so the ad hominem there is a liberal puppet. Again, whether or not that's true, let's just assume that it is true. What does that do for the discussion? What does that do for productivity of the discussion in reference to the claim that is being made? It doesn't do anything. Address the claim. That's how you're going to have a productive conversation. And I get it. You want to, because this happens in courtrooms all the time, right? People attack the credibility of the witness. Okay, that's fine, but that doesn't actually prove anything, right? Because you can sit here and say, for example, they've committed 10 crimes in their past. Okay, and that's true, but does that mean that they've committed crime number 11? Well, no, you actually have to focus on crime number 11 and prove it. Now, can those other things maybe imply that, okay, yeah, there's maybe a likelihood, there's maybe something there's something there? Sure, that implies, that does give context, but that doesn't actually address the claim being made in that example that the person, committed crime number 11. So just be aware of that. Happens way too often. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's just not being productive. Address the claim. Address the argument. Don't throw out there something about the person because that's just committing the ad hominem fallacy, which at the core leads to unproductivity. And if we can all agree that we want to have productive conversations with people, especially people we don't agree with, well, then we need to be aware of these sorts of fallacies that exist within the debating world, the philosophical world, just the discussion world, whatever you want to call it. But I would like to call it, the productivity of conversation world. So if you enjoyed this, if you learned something, let me know down in the comment section. If you would like for me to do more of these kind of fallacy videos, because there's lots of other ones, the red herring, for example. If you would like for me to do more explanation videos of these topics in the spirit of having those productive conversations, then I'd be more than happy to do that. So if you have any suggestions or questions for future videos, please leave those down in the comment section. But if you just enjoyed this as a whole, definitely hit that like button. Thanks for hanging out. And remember, Address the claim. Don't attack the person. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.